You've been using this word your whole life. You've heard it in songs, seen it on walls, said it as a greeting, and you have absolutely no idea what it actually means. Shalom. Most people translate it as peace, and that's not wrong. But it's like translating the ocean as wet. Technically accurate, completely missing the point. Because what shalom actually means changes how you read the entire Bible, and it changes how you understand what's missing in your own life. Welcome to the Hebrew Stories. Let's start with what shalom is not. Shalom is not the absence of conflict. It is not quiet. It is not the feeling you get when everything around you calms down. In English, peace is essentially a negative word. It describes the removal of something bad. No war, no noise, no tension. Peace. But Hebrew doesn't work that way. The root of shalom is shalam, to be complete, to be whole, to be in a state where nothing is missing and nothing is broken. It appears over 250 times in the Hebrew Bible, as a greeting, as a farewell, as a blessing, as a description of God's ultimate vision for creation. When the priests blessed Israel in Numbers chapter 6, they said, "The Lord turn his face toward you and give you shalom." They weren't wishing for quiet. They were invoking total restoration of everything that is broken. Physical wholeness, emotional well-being, spiritual completeness, right relationships, material provision. All of it simultaneously in a state of harmony. The Quechua Indians of Guatemala have a phrase that comes close to the Hebrew meaning. They define peace as quiet goodness. Not passive, not the absence of noise. Active, aggressive goodness pressing into every corner of a life. That is shalom. Isaiah 26 verse 3 gives us the most dramatic expression of this. The Lord will keep in perfect peace. In Hebrew, shalom, shalom, the word doubled. Those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in Him. When Hebrew doubles a word, it intensifies it. Shalom, shalom is not just peace. It is the fullness of shalom. Peace so complete that nothing remains broken. And here is what makes this word devastating in the most beautiful way. Shalom is also the word used to describe what has been lost. When something is broken, a relationship, a body, a community, what is absent is shalom. And when restoration happens, when debts are repaid, when the exile returns home, when the estranged are reconciled, the Hebrew word for that restoration is shalam, the same root. Wholeness broken, wholeness restored. Modern psychology has spent decades trying to describe what shalom describes in one word. In 1943, Abraham Maslow published his hierarchy of needs: safety, belonging, esteem, self-actualization. The pyramid that every psychology student has seen. What Maslow was describing, a state where every fundamental human need is met simultaneously, is essentially a secular map of shalom. But there's a difference. Maslow's model is additive. You fill each level before moving to the next. And the top level, self-actualization, is something you achieve through effort. Shalom is not achieved. It is received. The Hebrew root shalam means to restore, to make whole again. The subject of the verb is almost always God. He is the one who gives shalom. He is the one who restores what is broken. This is why the most common Hebrew prayer for shalom is not a personal achievement goal. It is a blessing spoken over someone else. Shabbat Shalom. May your Sabbath be whole. May you end this week with nothing missing and nothing broken. You cannot wish yourself shalom. but you can speak it over someone who needs it. Researchers studying well-being have found something consistent. The people who report the highest sense of inner completeness are not people who have solved all their problems. They are people who have a framework for meaning that is larger than their circumstances. Shalom is that framework. Not peace when things are calm, peace that holds when things are not. So what does this mean for you? The next time you feel scattered, pulled in too many directions, unable to locate the quiet you're looking for, I want you to ask a different question. Not, how do I find peace? But, what is broken? Because shalom is not found by removing noise. It is found by identifying what is incomplete. What relationship is fractured? What part of your inner life is missing something? What you have been avoiding restoring. Shalam, the root of shalom, appears in Exodus in the context of restitution. When something is stolen or damaged, you shalam it. You make it whole again. You return what was taken. The ancient Hebrews understood that peace was not a feeling you waited for. It was a work of restoration you participated in. And when the restoration is beyond you, when the breaking is too deep, the damage too old, this is exactly where the Hebrew Bible places its greatest hope. Isaiah 9, verse 6. A child will be born, a son will be given, and his name will be called the Prince of Shalom. Not the Prince of Quiet, not the Prince of Calm, the Prince of Wholeness, the one who comes to restore everything that is broken, in you, between you and others, between you and God. That is what the ancient Hebrews were waiting for, and that is what shalom actually means. Thank you for watching the Hebrew Stories. Next time, another word you've heard your whole life that means something completely different than you think. See you then.